And I remember when we were initially talking, I was skeptical because I had gone through that structure before. But the biggest difference is in those calls, it's either you, it's Leo, or it's Andrew. And it's a community of peers. It's a community of other
Sure.
educators who like fundamentally understand what you're going through and speak with you in such a like a knowledgeable way. And it really is refreshing to be on those calls because you feel heard, but also you feel like you have the time that it's like you're given time by you three, and it's one educator speaking to another. And I think there's something really valuable in that. One of the first things that you told me, Mike, was you said, this is going to take a lot longer than you think. And I remember Leo especially would say, that's great, Michael. Don't spend a lot of time on it. Don't go full in on it. Go out, test it out, see if it has legs, but don't shift your niche right away like you do with everything else. And I had the greatest success because it was easy. I loved it. I had so much fun building out training for it. We ran 6 weeks of, we called it Content Masters, which is content creation for teachers, professors, and educators on how to script, shoot, edit, and post social media content. The TAP program is the most honest and authentic way to do this. I think you get thrown a lot of interesting pitches in training space. And the TAP program it's very honest, it's very methodical, and it's really well thought out. And I've probably gone through 3 or 4 years of so many different forms of training, and this is the one. This is the one that is unlike any other one because it's, as I said, it's honest about how to build a business. And that was a check that I needed, and it was really valuable. And I would say do it yesterday, and it will be well worth your time and well worth your investment.
Hi, Michael. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. How's it
Thank
going?
you for having me. Good. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Michael, yeah, you've been in our program for about 6 months now, and just wanted to talk to you a little bit about your journey, and maybe there'll be some takeaways here for some of the viewers. Just in general, what were you doing before you met us, and what kind of brought you to the Teacher Accelerator program?
Yeah, I was doing way too much before
Okay.
coming to the TAP program. I was trying to make a business work. I was thinking about originally doing public speaking training, then doing some communication and career prep training. I am a communications professor, so I teach all of these things. I train in some of these things outside of my job. And I thought, couldn't I grow this a little bit more? But I was finding that I was having trouble gaining traction in those things. And so for a good while, like a few years, I was really chasing a lot of ideas with what I thought was direction. I really wasn't getting anywhere with it. I thought I was, but I wasn't. And it was really shifting from one idea to the next idea to the next idea without any consistent success.
And when you mean shifting ideas, do you mean thinking about different niches, or were they niches within this larger niche of professional communications?
It was various niches within professional communications because as communications is such a broad field. So I had initially started with public speaking skills, one area that I specialize in. And I grew out a whole program. I actually made a 166 video course and everything. I wanted it to be perfect right away. And then I made that. And then, of course, when the course was done, I hated every minute of it. And then I started seeing other people in the field and getting a bit of imposter syndrome. I didn't think that I was as skilled or communicated it as well as they did. And then I shifted over to other areas in communication skills that I really enjoy, that I'm really quite good at, was career prep, interview prep, job prep. What happened is it's the same thing. I looked at other people in the field and I said, wow, like these people are really into this. Like they genuinely love this. And again, you question yourself, you question your abilities, and can I be as skilled as they are with this? And can I communicate this as in depth as they can? And then you shift to the next thing and the next thing. And so it was a never ending battle.
So then what was it then that brought you to us? I know that we, just if you're watching this, Michael and I do know one another outside of this video recording. But yeah, like what was it, Michael, that kind of brought you to the TAP program, or at least curiosity, what made you curious about the TAP program?
I had gone through a number of programs to try and get my business idea, my training business up and running and really get it focused, get some guidance, get some coaching. And I found that I wasn't having success with that. There was a lot of solutions out there. And I found that all the solutions that were being offered, they weren't working for me. And I really was at my wit's end on it. Like, is this ever going to work for me? Am I ever going to have something successful? And when I discovered the TAP program and I discovered you were a part of it, Mike, what I thought was, I am a teacher, I am an educator, and you are also an educator. And you seem to understand setting up this business, setting up coaching, and translating your discipline, whatever you teach, your discipline, into a business of your own. And from teacher to teacher, there was something really nice about that, something that I really gravitated towards, because more than anything, you understood my frustrations as a teacher. You understood what I was trying to build as an educator. And I think when we speak the same language, there was something really appealing about that.
Yeah, I know. And likewise, and that's why it's been such a pleasure to work with you. But let's talk about that journey, because you came in with these ideas about sticking with the business communications and trying to make it work. What happened in the end?
I had another idea. No,
No,
what
but
I
for all the
found,
right reasons, right? Yeah.
yeah, for all the right reasons. And what was really interesting is what I discovered, and the reason why the other ideas didn't work out and the other ideas maybe didn't have as much staying power, is I love teaching communication skills. I like to think I'm quite good at teaching communication skills. And in comparing myself to all the other people that were teaching those things in my niche, the biggest thing that I discovered is it was the passion element. It was like, are you looking at this as a genuine point of fun? Is this something that you could just go out and do and nerd out over for hours and hours and hours and just love talking about it? And so what I found was, with public speaking, with communication, career prep rather, all these things are great and I love them. And I'm so passionate about teaching students about them. But the biggest thing is, I think outside of the classroom, am I sitting there like looking up the next thing and looking up the next strategy? And that was the thing that I noticed about every successful person in the niche that I was looking up, was they clearly like were living and breathing this. And as much as I really love it, I don't think that I was embracing it as wholeheartedly as they were. And we went through it. We went through initially the program and we explored these ideas. But as we went through it, and I think one thing that I think you said to me, that Leo said to me, was let the niche find you. And so I would hop into the calls and we would go over things and massage a lot of ideas. And I remember I kept up with the calls, and you guys gave me a lot of homework. Remember, we had to put together a survey, an initial survey, find the people that you can ask questions of. So, I was put on the spot to really go out and say, are these people the right people for you? As opposed to most programs that just says, find your niche, get it out there, set it up and everything. You put me to task and said, maybe figure out if this thing is actually for you. And in setting everything up with my original business ideas, I found it a bit of a challenge to survey people, and I found it a bit of a challenge to find the market. And during that entire time, I remember I was always talking about, hey, I created this fun video and I was doing this video for class, or some other professors were talking about how I do video production. And I remember saying, hey, I think I might try this on the side and see if this is a viable idea. And I remember Leo especially would say, that's great, Michael. Don't spend a lot of time on it. Don't go full in on it. Go out, test it out, see if it has legs, but don't shift your niche right away like you do with everything else. And the funny thing is, I spent so little time on it, and I had the greatest success because it was easy. I loved it. I had so much fun building out training for it. And in the process with the TAP program, where you want to survey your audience and you want to see if this is a viable niche, it was so easy to get participants, to survey them, to quiz them, to get feedback on what they'd like to see in this program. It was so easy to run test training sessions. It was so easy to see if people were really excited about this. And I literally did the least amount of like work and prep and everything versus everything I did in the past. And it was largely because of the TAP program saying, ease up a little bit.
Yeah, ease up, let the niche find you. And then in the end, because it's a great niche, so please use this space. Tell the audience a little bit about what it is you're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. It was completely different than what I had anticipated. So, in the years that I was putting together content for communication skills and public speaking and career prep, I was obsessed with having the right video, having the right audio, the lighting, putting together a tight video, having good editing, great transitions and everything. And I probably spent more time meticulously creating great videos for students than the actual content itself.
Right.
And so what I did was at the beginning of this school year, I made a fun video for the college that we teach at. And I had a number of people come up to me and say, this video is phenomenal. Like, how did you edit it? How did you put it together? And to my original point, like I could have stood there and talked to them for hours about it. I
Right.
nerd out about good video, good audio, what apps to use and all this stuff. And myself and my partner in this, Troy Berg, we were approached to say, hey, there's a lot of professors who want to make really great videos for their courses, whether they're asynchronous courses or supplementary videos for their classes. Do you think you could put on a session that could show us how to do that? And I'm like, yes, 1,000%. Actually, when we responded, we said, can we do 3 so that we could get more feedback on how we're doing? And so that's what we're working on now. And again, the niche found me. I was literally at the point when all of this was coming towards me, like fighting against the idea, because I've spent all these years coming up with training on communication skills. And I'm like, no, I got to stay with this one. This is the one I got to do. Meanwhile, there was this golden nugget right here that just said, hey, you love doing this. And if you look at everybody else in the niche, you love it more than anybody else. And so we ran some training sessions and they went over really well. And so then we decided, along the lines of the TAP program, to run like a beta test. We ran 6 weeks of, we called it Content Masters, which is content creation for teachers, professors, and educators on how to script, shoot, edit, and post social media content. So whether that's short form content that I do or long form content that my partner Troy does, we wanted to show professors how to do all of those things. So Troy teaches in networking, and originally he posted supplementary videos for his classes on the subjects that he taught. I shoot short form videos on Instagram and TikTok on communication skills, 20 to 30-second bits. And we found out that the fundamentals of how we shoot those things are largely the same. And once we ran our sessions with some faculty who seemed to really enjoy it, we transitioned that into a beta program that's about 6 weeks. And we offered it to any of the faculty that had joined us originally for our mini sessions. And we also opened it up to members of the TAP community. And that was a very generous offer by you, Leo, and Andrew. So, thing with the TAP community, I'll give you guys a big shout out here, is you support your own, right? It's not just about your program. It's about the idea that you want to create good businesses and training for other professors, other teachers. And so you really help us outside of the core program. And you guys have done a tremendous job with that. But the biggest thing that I noticed that was so different than any other training that I'd gone through is one of the first things that you told me, Mike, was you said, this is going to take a lot longer than you think.
Right.
And I had always gone through programs where they said, get your business up and running in 30 days. And you went, it's not going to take.
It's nothing. It's not.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And so you said it's going to take a while and you got to test it. And if it doesn't work, then we test something else. And you know what? I tested 2 or 3 different things and found something that was really strong. And it like really proof is in the pudding. It was a very honest approach to testing a business, setting it up, seeing if something works, and looking at whether it could actually be successful.
Thanks. And just so you know, if you are watching this, Michael has done workshops with our TAP program as well, and they've been well received. And it was just great, Michael, to see the joy come out, because I think a lot of teachers who go into this think it's going to be me starting a business, it's going to be tough. But like you said, if you find the right niche that you're passionate about, it's an adventure. It's really exciting, and it ends up consuming you and taking over, but in a good way, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's the weirdest thing to, when you find the thing, your mindset completely shifts. It's that notion of find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life. It's the
Right.
same idea. Find a business idea that you really enjoy and it doesn't become a challenge in any way. And it was really nice to do it through the TAP program. And I think I've mentioned this to you before, is it's teachers talking to teachers. And so you see a lot of businesses who, hop in the calls, jump in the calls, go to do the training modules and all this stuff. And I remember when we were initially talking, I was skeptical of that because I had gone through that structure before. But the biggest difference is in those calls, it's either you, it's Leo, or it's Andrew. And it's a community of peers. It's a community of other educators who fundamentally understand what you're going through and speak with you in such a knowledgeable way. And it really is refreshing to be on those calls because you feel heard, but also you feel like you have the time, that it's like you're given time by you three, and it's one educator speaking to another. And I think there's something really valuable in that.
Here. Yeah, no, it's a great community that we have with great members. And as you said earlier, who are really focused on genuine education. So Michael, what would you say to someone who's watching this and is maybe thinking about TAP, but not sure? What would you tell them?
Oh, if you're a teacher, an educator, in any type of education or academic space, and you're thinking of, hey, I'd love to use my skills and funnel it into some other form of training for yourself, the TAP program is it's the most honest and authentic way to do this. I think you get thrown a lot of interesting pitches in training space, and the TAP program it's very honest, it's very methodical, and it's really well thought out. And I've probably gone through 3 or 4 years of so many different forms of training, and this is the one. This is the one that is unlike any other one because it's, as I said, it's honest about how to build a business. And that was a check that I needed, and it was really valuable. And I would say do it yesterday, and it will be well worth your time and well worth your investment.
All right. Thanks a lot, Michael. Thanks for your time, and all the best with you and your business. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.